Hello. Welcome to the Diamond Cap. Not Platinum this week, unfortunately, because we had a little bit of a. Since we are having a bye week for Platinum during week 3, we will now show off Diamond instead so we can keep somewhat the flow going right into the Cycle Special following Wednesday. So I'm going to be your play-by-play caster for tonight. I'm Red Skull Dragon, and alongside me I have General Vici.
Yeah, and we are going to have our two diamond games tonight. First one up is going to be ISU versus Imperial White Knights as we handle the transition and get
There it is.
right into the game.
Yep, let's just go right into this. And you want to go ahead and introduce the blue side to us?
Yes, on the blue team we have Imperial Knights White with Nigaflinga playing Seraphine top, Ice Poseidon with Udyr in the jungle, Parry Difference playing Corki mid, with Vital and Predabear taking Senna Kench bot lane.
Yeah, pretty interesting team comp, especially with parry difference in the mid lane. But let's go right over to ISU JV. We have Hankster in the top lane playing that Aatrox in the mid, or in the jungle, I should say. Riddy is playing that Fiddlesticks in the mid lane. Now we have Sudden Carnivore playing the Tristana. And for our bot lane, we have VBU High Legacy and VBU Clutch playing Callista and J4 respectively.
Yeah, so a couple interesting things right off the bat. Seraphine top, of course, kind of less seen, but kind of follows the Lulu, Soraka style Enchanter top that you run sometimes. And on the other side, Fiddle Jungle is a bit less common, not one of the big meta junglers we see. And then the Jarvan support is also kind of fun.
Yeah, definitely so. It's going to be quite the interesting match we have for tonight. Seeing how these teams really match up. We have ISUJV at a 2-0, while Imperial Knights White is only at 1-0. So technically both undefeated right now because Imperial Knights White had a bye week.
And meanwhile, in the bot lane, already see some cheese.
Oh yeah, Vital is going to be going down really low. Oh, uses the heal in order to try to get maybe a little bit more out of that, but the Ignite is going to pick her up there. Unfortunately, alongside the High Legacy, finishing off that Q.
Ah, good old brush cheese. Something that you see not very often, but when you didn't see it, it's annoying as heck. Just sitting in the bush, you have Hail Blades, Callista early. J4 is also pretty good laning support because he maxes E, so he just gets to poke you with Airy. It also gives attack speed to his AD while it's down. I believe I want to say it's something like 10%, 20%. I think it's 10%. Don't know the exact number. Which it is against a Senna Kench lane where the Senna is going fasting Senna. So not as impactful to get the AD as it normally would be. Normally the AD misses out the farm, but this time the support gets to stay in lane and catch all the farms. So it's just a bit of EXP lost for the Senna, but still a very good start to a lane that kind of has to get ahead early.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I'm not a fan of Fasting Senna just at this moment. They did buff how many souls you get from just being nearby dying minions, but regardless of that, I don't think it's necessarily as strong. The not having as much gold still hurts pretty much, or pretty well, considering that her build right now is actually going to be the Kraken Slayer and the Gunzos. Gunzos is a little less, but Kraken, well, yeah, with the Gunzos, because this is the before they patched up the interaction of Gunzos and Senna leave. This is 11.4, is that? They changed that 11.5, right? Or no?
They changed it the most recent patch. I'm not I want to say this game was played before, so I think you're right that they haven't changed the interaction quite yet of where since Senna overcaps on crit and Guinsoo's takes the crit and buffs that you could get a lot of extra damage off of the Guinsoo's with the bonus crit bonus from the passive of Senna. And yeah, I do think that one reason I kind of like the farming Tom Kench here is so you have an extra tank with the Seraphine. I assume it's going to be Moonstaff Seraphine, and it's kind of a pain to kill a Tom Kench with all his shields when Seraphine is also giving them, as she's getting kind of bullied in top lane. I would say this is a Aatrox's favorite matchup, but trouble about the early trades onto right champions is you then have to worry about the trading after. It's kind of low in Q range. But
Yeah.
going back to the Tom Kench point, just having extra items on him makes him rather tankier and able to get a lot stronger. So it's harder for the front line to chew through him, especially with the Seraphine supporting him with the Moonstaff, with all that, as we do see a gank in here, and I'm pretty sure Seraphine's dead.
But yeah, just gonna get hit with the fear. Well, Hangster already committing a flash to make sure that Ninja is not gonna be able to get on there. So there it goes. The second kill of the game here over in the top lane. Going on over to the Fiddlesticks here. Hopefully we'll be able to transfer that. But in the mid lane first, we're going to be seeing an engage from Sudden Carnivore. Getting quite a bit of damage over the parry distance. It's already using the Ignite here, which is going to be forcing him to back up just a little bit. Even going to have to force out the recall, but maybe after this minion wave. He needs to be careful though. Doesn't want to be caught out in all this damage.
Yeah, and already see some early snowballing for ISU. They do have winning lane matchups, I'd say, and you saw top lane where Seraphine just pushed up too far despite Fiddle having already cleared his bot side, only had top to go, so he went there. Now Aatrox is getting a bit low, but he'll recall and TP. And Seraphine did save her TP, so that's nice to still have in the back pocket. Wave was pushing in, so didn't miss too much CS. But you really don't want the Aatrox to be getting a lead like this, because especially if you're going the Moonstone Seraphine, the 1v1 becomes pretty much impossible, as Aatrox just gets to QE forward whenever he wants to trade, and not much Seraphine can do about it, other than like try and sit back and farm, so that hands over most lane pressure to him, and see if they can exploit that as the game continues forward.
Yeah, we'll have to see how well the Imperial Knights White will do against this, issue. It is a pretty interesting team comp we have here in general. Sorry, choking up on my own spit, but Ice Poseidon being really the only tank on their team. I guess Predator is going to be a little tankier too, but having opted in for the Seraphine in the top lane, I'm curious why they opted to do that rather than having like someone a little bit more traditional or whatnot.
And it's not the worst chance to pick up there. There has been a precedence of supportive champs going in the top lane and just playing for team fights later on. You already have Engage with Kim Tank, Udyr, and Tom Kench can kind of make up for the tank, so you don't really need that there damage-wise. Corki Senna is not the most DPS, but it's not little either, so it can make up for it. I do want to note that Aatrox also saved his TP going back to lane, but the lane had already crashed from Seraphine when he did so, so he lost a good bit of waves, as looks like we're getting a fight bot.
Yeah, Ice Poseidon is just going to run it on in there to get to an auto attack over the high legacy. He gets stun off, but we have VV Clutch going in real deep in there. Predator is going to be stuck in the middle of all of this. He is going to fall down, unfortunately. Riddy is on the run now. He already uses ulti, so here comes the TP coming from Hainster to see maybe he can turn this around a little bit. Oh, actually going to get canceled by Ninja there. And parry difference flashing in for the kill there, gets an auto attack and finishes that one up. Now we're looking towards these turret platings and maybe even one more kill because we still see high legacy in the area as well. I decided to check for any wards, trying to hide away, but we see Sunny Carnivore is also in that jungle area. Looks like that's going to be it. I don't think we'll be looking for any more action at this point at least.
Yeah, that's rather rough, using the TP, getting it cancelled, trying to help out his bot lane. Earlier on though, that falls on Clutch for failing to properly execute the flag drive flash. You can do that combo where you start it and then flash to extend the range at the end, but he flashed a bit too early and missed the knockup that would have come for it, and that left him middle of any team with no escape, so he went down early. And then just the fact that Corki made it down first, I have to assume that it was off of Trist's back timer, since Trist should almost always have the shove on Corki early game at least. So he was able to make it down first. It then became a 4 for 2 essentially, as they were able to clean it up and get a couple more kills on the board to actually put Imperial Knights in the gold lead.
Yeah, they are at the gold lead. There's a marginal lead, however. It's just going to be equating equal to about a rejuvenation bead. So it's not too much, but a lead is nonetheless a lead. You gotta have a little bit of extra stats in order to try maybe some of these team fights. While over onto the side of ISU JV, they have 2 kills over onto High Legacy right now, and that's pretty important considering that he is a pretty he's playing that Kalista, which can be quite the carry when it comes into the later parts of the game. I Spy now looking for a gank over here, going to use the Chin Smite to maybe make something happen, but just going to be forcing away Hangster a little bit and relieving pressure off the top lane instead.
Yeah, nice to get that ult off. Seraphine can't really do much to Aatrox, as that's a lot of damage greeting for plates.
Yeah, parry difference is able to get a lot of damage. Actually picking up the kill with the rockets there, really nicely done. I'm surprised he was actually able to get so much damage off, or at least Thunder Carnivore letting him do all that damage.
Yeah, that was just greeted hard for plates. Didn't realize that how strong Corki was. Tried to jump away, but Valkyrie plus the rockets, enough chase damage. And that's kind of just what happens when lethal tempo Corki. I think the usual choice is fleet footwork, just for easier time in lane, and there's not the most synergy. I don't know that I like lethal tempo as much in this kind of team comp where I don't think Corki's just going to sit there autoing, more about the poke, but in this case lets him get a lot more damage than the Tristan was expecting. That's a burn flash.
Huge. Yeah, burn to flash, but at the cost of both Riddy's ulti, which he used to try to get over the wall, alongside of VV Clutch, when using a Flag Drag and Cataclysm.
Yeah, and that's kind of weird though, that Vital actually burned the flash, because you can eat someone over the Jarvan wall with Tahm Kench. It might have been on cooldown, and that may have been what prompted the gank, I have to assume. But it does mean at least they got a flash for using the ults, use the Fiddle just as a wall jump instead to get the fear, so a lot easier to get out of that. As now we're seeing Fiddle kind of hovering bot again, with Tristana getting mid pushed, as this is interesting state top lane.
Yeah, we have Ninjas hiding in the bush, flashing away from Hangsters to make sure he doesn't get the heal off, and finishing off with the Q. Really nice death push that Ninja had, really sneaky one.
Yeah, and that's pretty rough. Aatrox isn't someone I think that should ever be in kill threat of a Seraphine, as that's a good run in from Udyr. Pretty low risk, just go in, get a flash. Now, pretty much set up for Dragon with Corki's mid-pros. Trist is not able to fight this.
Yeah, very much not, especially with parry difference having the package on him, so he's ready to make a rotate over to the Dragon Pit way sooner than anyone else can. This looks like it's going to be a forfeited Dragon over to the Imperial Knights here. And the rip this game is going to be the Infernal Drake. Going to see a lot of damage coming out. Really going to love to see this.
And it is kind of rough giving over a mountain to Imperial Knights team comp, just because the tankier you are, the harder it is to one-shot someone, which
here comes the Fiddle ulti going around to parry difference here. He's just going to get absolutely 100-0 down. Now Subject Carnivore is going to be using the rocket jump to get a little bit closer, but the Chilling Smite's just going to get him out of there. You were saying? Sorry.
Yeah, that was a bit over the wall, not respecting the Fiddlesticks wards. Gotta have to keep those in mind even when you're not used to playing against it, as that just gets an easy kill. But talking about Mountain and how Mountain against the kind of team comp that Imperial Knights have is really good for Imperial Knights, because they're looking for the long fights. You have the Tahm Kench to be tanky, with Senna to heal up, Seraphine to heal up, so the harder it is to burst you, the way easier of a time you have in the fight, especially against the kind of team comp that ISU has. Is it's going to be a dive top.
Yeah, dive top lane. It's not going to be much of it anyways, because Hangster is just going to pop the ulti and just 3-part down onto Ninja, sending him to the gray screen, which he did opt in for that Moonstone maneuver, like you were saying. Predator now looking for an engage over into the spot lane here. He's looking for the stun. God already grabs it over onto there. Jarvan's just gonna not be able to get a flag and drag off, and that's going to be a kill over the High Legacy. Shutdown for Predator. Now Ice Poseidon's looking for some action in this top lane too. Thanks to that phase rush, he's able to get on out of the Infernal Chains, and he's looking for a little bit more of a Hangster. Gets the stun off onto him, but he's going to get feared because here comes Riddy, and just going to suck away that kill from Ice Poseidon.
Yeah, we got 2 kills on opposite side of the map. Really nice response from the Fiddlesticks to save his top laner. Good damage going mid, but no exhaust on Cork, so
Ooh.
this might be a kill. And
Yeah.
Sudden Carnivore picks it up as that's a bunch of good pickups for ISU. Top lane, good response from Fiddle to save his top laner. Udyr just not quite enough damage into the Aatrox despite not having ult. Bot lane though, I do want to criticize you Clutch a bit. High Legacy was kind of far forward. He had the 3 stacks of Acquired Taste from the Tahm Kench, which means the next Stun Lash is a stun, and there was no body blocking from the Jarvan, so his Callista got caught up and killed. As Jarvan, you can flag and drag away even if you get slowed. Might take some damage, but better than just letting your ADC die like that. And that means that whole bot tower is going to go down in favor of Imperial Knights.
Yeah, with this tower down, that means it's a little bit easier for them to move around this map here. Maybe go for a little bit more of these mountain trades, especially with now mid lane falling down over for Imperial Knights too. They're on top of it for the objective game, pushing their gold leads over to almost 3k now.
And that's just kind of a laning difference. You see it 30 up for the Tahm Kench, 30 up for the Corki. They've had pressure for most of it. Fight's going to start.
Here comes the fight. Sorry about that. I was looking at something. Someone sent me a DM. Here comes Ninja with a huge encore, and the railgun comes up in order to get a pick up there. While Predator is still dealing with the Aatrox over here. He's 1v3, unfortunately, while Sonic Conqueror is just going to be picked up by the Ice Poseidon. So that is going to be a team ace. Sorry about that. Oh my goodness.
That was just a really, really big fight for Imperial Knights. They were at the Dragon. Gold lead now ballooned up to 5,000 after being relatively close. And that was just a scattered team fight from ISU. Imperial Knights were all grouped up, all ready for the fight. Bunch of different angles from ISU. They didn't have a single target called out. No concentration of DPS on one member. Really good Seraphine into Senna combo, able to burst out 3 of them as they were diving forward. And that swings the game pretty heavily in Imperial Knights' favor, as they do have very, very, very good teamfight scaling, barring some sort of Fiddle into Aatrox combo, where they over-the-wall one-shot someone. But it's going to make it really hard without that kind of combo for ISU going forward.
Yeah, it is going to be putting them in quite a predicament right now, seeing how far behind they are. This is going to be the Infernal Drake spawning up here in about 20 more seconds, so we'll see how well these teams are looking for a fight. Actually, even Vital is going to have to force out his own flash so he gets away from Sonic Carnivore with that burst, really respecting the damage that he can do, which is what you need to do because Dragon is here now, and you need to be ready for this fight.
Yeah, fight before kind of started for no reason in the blue side jungle. Now there's a dragon to fight over, but now that you're down 5.5k, Corki does have package. This is going to be a rough one, but you also don't want to start giving over the dragon stacking Infernal when you have a chance to come out in this fight. Fiddle's hanging over the wall, dragon start him. We'll see what ISU can do going into this.
Oh, here comes the Fiddle ulti again, charged up, and actually goes through before the package is able to interrupt him. He's in the middle of everyone. Encore goes out on her, and 2 people cataclysm over on a Parry Difference. Parry Difference is doing quite a bit of damage in this, even though he's in the pits. And now Hangster is all by himself. We had the Corki pick up a triple kill, and he's still here with a quadra kill. Not a... Oh, actually, sorry, Ninja. A single person has fallen over for Imperial Knights, but it's going to be another ace for the Imperial Knights White.
Now that was a very, very good fight from Parry Difference. You saw Fiddle get onto the wall, get onto 3, but no follow-up from his team. A really nice package from Parry Difference has split them all off, left them in the blue buff. That gave them time to focus the Fiddle, who had used his stopwatch in the previous fight. And from there, they just got to kind of do it with their better DPSs. That's a surrender?
Oh, that is 18-minute surrender. Wow, it was only like 8k gold down, but it looks like that was actually going to be the surrender. I did not check that. I thought it was just going to be a quick game for everyone to just finish up the tower. I should really look at how many towers they took. I just assumed with they only took 2 towers. I guess I should have looked a little bit more closely. But yeah, that's game 1 with Imperial Knights White. Man, that's my bad. But yeah, Imperial Knights doing a really good job against ISU, who decided, after having 2 back-to-back aces, whereas it was a little difficult to continue on forward with the game.
Yeah, that was an anticlimactic end. Have to criticize it a bit because that just seems like a weird spot to surrender. Yes, you're behind, but you still like had a chance in that fight. You have the fiddle, you have an Aatrox who is doing work, so yeah, I guess that's the game. Congrats to Imperial Knights White as I guess we're going into the next one.
Yeah, I don't even think we need to go to be right back screen. I think you know, let's just keep rolling it and get this next game in. Let me start load it up real quick. So, yeah, I mean they had a pretty good team fight. ISU right there with the Fiddle ulti. They got like a 3-man, but unfortunately they were all grouped up for that Seraphine Encore, which just did pretty well. I mean, it only had 2 targets, but it hit the targets that they needed to. Hitting the ADC over on the side of on the on ISU, and yeah, that's quite the game. All right, you should be able to see it.
Yep.
I think I have everything correct. So let me just make sure chat's turned off, and let's just jump right into this next game without even needing to go to commercial break. It's gonna be This is the new patch, so you might not see it on the screen. There it is. All right, it's going to be the Your Poopy versus the. Ooh, I need it.
Yeah, we have.
Predictive Gaming Fuji. There you go.
Yep. So able to get into it right quick on the blue team for UR Poopy. We have Royal Decay playing Wukong top, Olaf jungle for Asesh, SKT Ezreal running Ahri mid with CKG and Strike Black playing Ezreal Alistair bot.
While over on the side of the Predictive Gaming Funjin, I don't know how to say that, so I'm just going to say PGF. We have Haruki playing the Gragas in the top lane, Jaw playing the Graves in the jungle, Chapanya fan. It looks like he watches a lot of Shifter playing the Syndra in the mid lane. Now over on the bot lane, we have Quick Slice and Chakran. Chakran? Chakran. Chakran playing the Thresh as the support in this bot lane as well. So a little bit of a 5-stack, but not really going to be able to get anything out of that since Haruki's playing that Gragas, and starting off with that body bump is able to get you on out of there nice and easy.
Yeah, not too big of a deal for the start. Are able to get some deep vision, clear out a ward with the sweeper. Meanwhile, on the bot side, they get some vision around, so kind of just trading sides of the map to be able to see. And looking at the team comps, we have one where you have the Wukong, you have the Olaf, Alistair, Ahri, you are wanting to dive in. Meanwhile, on the other, you have a lot of disengage with Syndra, Xayah, Thresh, Gragas. It's going to be hard to walk into there, so that's going to be some fun interactions as one looks to get a really good dive and run at them, while the other does their best to burst them as they try and come through.
It is going to be interesting how well these teams can actually play out their team comps. I haven't seen Graves pick up a phase rush in a little bit. I know that he's been a little bit more popular with his Gale Force build, but he doesn't pick up phase rush anymore. I think, what is it? He takes like, is it Halo Blades? I know it's Halo Blades for Kaisa, but I don't know if it's actually for Graves. Any case.
Yeah, haven't really been keeping up with the Graves jungle keystone. I do think it makes sense into Olaf. You want to be able to kite him out. His axe is slow, and Phase Rush reduces that by a pretty fair margin, so you get to kind of stay out of range, kite him, able to do Graves things, stack some armor. So I do think it makes sense there, as we're seeing some of the trading top where it is the biggest pain trying to lane as a melee into Gragas. You go in, all he does is uses body slam, auto you for free with a grasp proc. You can't really extend the trade if you already used your gap closer. Wukong himself pretty good early game trader, so
yeah, and then TG Johnny in the chat saying Face Rush or Fleet, so thank you for that. Letting us know, because I honestly have not noticed, but the Fleet also makes sense for like a little bit more sustain. A little trading in the top lane there.
yeah, already seeing some early CS lead for the Wukong will be picked up by the Gragas, who is running low on mana. He ended up going a Doran's Shield, which I don't really think is the best choice into the Wukong. I do think you want Doran's Ring. For the mana sustain, you have built-in sustained healing with Gragas in your kit, and having the mana just lets you trade into the Wukong for a lot longer. I even I'm not sure if I know that you like just go tier and sit on a Gragas. I don't know if that's the first item. It might also be a decent option. But either way, do see him getting low on mana as Wukong is going to take an early Cheetah Recall and pick up an extra Doran's Blade for some more lane dominance while the wave is crashed. Maybe miss a minion or two, but that should be it as far as cost.
We have Dragon spawning up here in about a minute or so, around that time, sorry, let me collect my words real quick. And around that time, I imagine both sides junglers are going to be looking to try to rotate on over there. Full clears on both sides, really, without minus the Gromps, but if they're going to go over to Dragon soon, it's going to happen anyways. But here comes Asash in the top lane. He's looking for a gank. Flashes are already going to be committed or to stick on top of Haruki. And looks like that's going to be first blood over for the Olaf.
You know, a bit of a misapplication of resources. Haruki ended up pushing forward. He used the body slam on the clone, didn't realize that Wukong was setting up for an all-in gank with his jungler, thought it was just standard trade, and ended up paying the price for it. His jungler also still on top side, but just a bit behind coming in. So that'll be a good first blood pickup for UR for the Olaf who really wants to get his early game snowballing.
Yeah, that's pretty good for your Poopy. The only downside we're seeing right now is that Olaf hasn't been able to take his reset just yet. Dragon has spawned up, but Jaw is opting in to try to finish up one of his cans before going ahead. We see Pinks coming out, but here comes Strike Black in the mid lane. He's looking to try to maybe get something over to Chivani Fan. Gets the stun off, but the charm does go a little bit wide here. Asash is looking for a response here, but Jaw is also on the move. He's walking his way on over to Chivani Fan. Maybe able to get the Scout of the Week over on an SKT Ezreal, but unfortunately not going to be able to have that available, so it's going to be the end of this interaction. Maybe here comes Shuriken, able to use the Flay in order to get right onto the Olaf. Olaf is going to be falling down over the Quick Slice now, and that is going to be a one and done trade for the benefits of the PG.
Yeah, good invade pushing it on them. Asa's just staying a bit too long in a spot where he really can't. Knew the ADC should be coming up, had the health disadvantage on his support and just himself in general, and pays the price for overstaying. Has a lot of CC where Ragnarok isn't available yet with the Syndra, with the Thresh. And I just walk on good hook, but Arcane Shift, and so that's going to be your turn kill on the board to leave the gold pretty much even as we continue into this game.
Yeah, it's definitely going to even out, especially with the Dragon you're going to be taking. But first, Asash is looking for a gank over into this mid lane. SKT Ezreal is trying to bait out a little bit, but going to have to force out the flash because he did get ulted by Unleashed Power. But now here comes Scattered Weak in order to stun up the Asash. Asash is getting quite low himself. Here comes the hook, but does not need it because Jaw is able to just flash Q in there and pick up the kill over on the SKT Ezreal, and a flash coming out from Champanya Fan as well in order to avoid some further tower shots.
Yeah, good punish right there. Chapanya playing around the gank well, going back forward to dodge the axe, lets him get in range of the RA to unload his ult, get the combo down, get him low. His team was doing Dragon, so they were able to respond, come help him, finish off one kill with the flash. It does mean that the Ocean they started will not be continued just yet. Look like they're getting onto it now and maybe not. They're just heading back to lane to pick up the way the tower. So kill to stop an Ocean Dragon, probably not worth at this stage, but it is always nice not to have to worry about the Dragon stacking quite yet.
Yeah, but here comes a 3-man stack over into the top lane. Strike Black is going to be the first one here, but unfortunately they decided to opt in to not go for the engage just yet. Here comes the minion, so they have a little bit more control of this gank here. Going to see the Wukong knock up in order to get him off. Rocky using his ultimate to push him away back a little bit, but Ragnarok is going to be able to make sure that he stays on him, and Strike Black actually gets executed there.
Yeah, good roam from Strike Black. I like seeing supports do this when you have something like an Ezreal. There's no real need for you to be in lane. So go elsewhere, try and get advantage top. A bit off on a perfect execution of the dive. They went a bit before minions, so took a couple extra tower shots. As we are seeing a good stun mid, but Ari has ult to get away from Thresh.
Oh, but it's going to be flayed up a little bit, so going to take quite a bit of damage here. A little bit riskier to help defend this tower from a little bit more of a push, but we have Strike Black in order to ensure that as well.
Yeah, and with the top dive, you do finally get to pick up the Ocean for Predictive Gaming Fujin, so they're now up on the dragon as they are looking for the Herald now as a neutral objective.
Charm is going to land, so here comes the Alistar going with the classic combo to knock him right up. We have Wukong in the area. His ult is not ready yet, so unfortunately not going to be able to use that for this fight, but everyone else is going to be running away slowly. Strike Black is going to get played away, forces the flash out from Haruki thanks to Asesh, but knockup is going to go on Haruki, dash over, now the charm. Looks like the CC chain is oncoming for Haruki, while Asesh is looking for a little bit more, but the unleashed power is able to finish up the kill there. While now DKG is in the bot lane, trying to look for a little bit of fight over on the quick slash. Good E in order to get on away from the feathers, but SKT Ezreal is a little bit of a choke point, but just baiting for Royal Decay in order to get quite a bit of damage off. And now Trapani Fan and Jaw are on the run. Royal Decay is still looking to maybe make something happen. Trapani Fan used Scattered Weak in order to burst down the Alistar a little bit more, but they're still on the run. We see Royal Decay still making their way over through the jungle, but it looks like Ezreal might not even be in the area in order to respond fast enough. They are assuming he actually took the jungle plant in order to get over, but looks like Asesh does spot him out in the last second and flashes over, goes, throws the ad to pick up the kill. That was a long wild goose chase there, but still, kill is a kill.
Yeah, able to pick it up in the end despite going the long way to have the fight finally end. I was a bit worried for UR at the beginning of that. They took the fight with all their ults down from the top lane dive and then are reusing hers on the mid pick. So they were able to...
Wow, great flash from Shuriken in order to get out of there. And here comes Strike Black in order to try to make something happen as well. TP is here. Royal Decay does dash in. Gonna leave the kill over to Strike Black. Maybe didn't realize that was not SKT Ezreal's Ignite. But regardless, looks like Strike Black's gonna be picking up that kill.
Yeah, nice flash over the charm, but Ahri still had her ult up, so was able to escape, and that left them a bit too far forward as the reinforcements are coming in and fighting still isn't stopping.
Yeah, reinforcements has come in. Here comes Asesh using the Ragnarok to do quite a bit of damage, but it's going to be SKT Ezreal picking up that kill thanks to the Q.
Yeah, and looks like the fight is going to start. Nice pickoff, and 7-3 to kills now, 2k up. UR is just getting the better handle of these fights, where the cooldowns are being blown from Fujin, as they're looking for people to not quite able to finish it off. Too much mobility, just too much tankiness on the enemy team, leaving them a bit too far forward. Then they're getting picked off on the backside, and that's not the best spot to be in, but I guess not the worst either. They're not super far behind in gold, but you still don't want to have a fed Olaf and Wukong running at you, even if you do have a lot of tools to disengage and burst them as they come in.
But here comes CKG. Yeah, he is going to be using his ulti as well as Quick Slice, but here comes Jaw and the reinforcements in order to try to pick up a kill over him. Ignite does go down, but Jaw's going to be picking up that kill. And now in the top lane, just a little bit more trading. Yeah, I think that's going to be the end of the action. But as I say that, Strike Black is looking for something in mid lane. But Flash is coming out from Trapani Fan is going to be saving him away from that as well. Charm does go out. Never mind. Maybe we aren't safe. We're just going to keep on fighting all around the map. The director camera doesn't know where to go. Here comes Asesh for yet another tower dive. Here it goes. Over on to the Haruki, and he falls to Royal Decay. While it looks like in the mid lane, I'm not exactly sure what happened. It looks like they're actually just going to be rotating top lane. Maybe forfeiting some of these turret planings to the mid lane, even the whole tower, depending on how well this push goes.
Yeah, bunch of fighting all over. One kill on the bot, another skirmisher in the mid, and a dive top. One side does have the Herald, so they are able to get the top tower down, whereas bot only managed to get most of the plates, not the tower itself. And this Wukong is getting pretty scary. He's going to have what I believe is going to be a Triforce off of his back with 303 and a full tower plus plates, thanks to the Rift Herald. Now Ezreal, though, came back and stuck around in a spot where his team had no control. And he's going to be dead under tower with the Graze from Jaw to try and equalize the gold a bit more.
Yeah, is equalizing some of the gold here. Unfortunately, they weren't able to take up the whole tower mid lane before all of that happened, so they won't be able to pick up this last turret plating. But now Fan found himself in a pretty good situation. He's trying to run over to his teammates, but here comes a TP as well. Looking to try to make something happen. Haruki is going to be helping out here. Good old Lantern in order to get out and down. Strike Black does use the head button to push Haruki a little bit closer to his team, but unfortunately, there's not enough follow-up to go with that because we still see Ezreal in base trying to make his way on over. Now, SKT Ezreal found himself a little bit out of position with Haruki right in the middle while World Decay is going right into it. Now turning over onto Haruki. Strike Black picks up the kill there, and now it is a little bit evened up here for team fighting. Site control has been given over to your Poopy.
Yeah, just better skirmishing overall from them, able to find the kills on the backside. The fight kept going for a while as the chase down members kept piling in with the TP, but in the end, just able to get that one kill. That's all they need to equalize the dragon count at 1-1, so not the biggest deal, but it does mean that there isn't nearly as much of a threat at Drake stacking as we are going to see an Infernal Rift, which is a lot more fun for both teams just to see the extra bursts of damage come down.
Yep, indeed. We'll hopefully see actually more than just 3 Drakes go down for this game for either team. Maybe we'll be a little bit closer now. Hopefully no surrenders. I did check. But, and I do think I saw more than the single-digit towers taken, but not entirely sure. We'll just have to see. And moving on into the top lane here, we see Royal Decay is looking to, Royal Decay is looking to maybe make something happen here while Strike Black is moving his way to maybe punish Haruki a little bit more. Here it comes. But doesn't necessarily connect with the Pulverize, but they're still looking for this good ulti from Haruki in order to try to get out, but there's not much out to go to because we have Aset also looking to come on here through. They're really just pushing him all the way over to this tower. Unfortunately, Aset's not getting assist there, but another kill going down for Royal Decay.
Yeah, Haruki just keeps getting attention put on him. Now 0-6, not a good spot for the Gregs to be in. Even if you are going to be a tank and still be useful when behind, you want your tank to actually be tanky and not explode, as this is probably the 4th or 5th time that a bunch of people have been in top, as they're going to look for Olaf, but he has Ragnarok to chase him back.
Yeah, he is running in first on Shiruki so he can pick up that kill. SKT Ezreal actually picking that up, I think, through the W there. And now we're over onto this bot lane where we're seeing a huge collapse. The Fan is walking pretty much in a straight line, so you gotta be careful because the Charm is coming out over onto him. And now Asesh looking to turn over onto Jaw, but Jaw with that face rush is able to kite out pretty well against Asesh. CKG is also going to be able to get in there with quite a bit of damage. Asesh picking up the kill thanks to the True Damage Strike. I forgot what it's called, but Thunderwind Strike is going to be picking up that kill.
Yeah, and the skirmishes you just keep going the way of you are trying to chase forward, but just getting kited out instead. And they're getting burst down by all these, and they keep swinging the gold lead. What was 1,000 is now basically 3,000, as you are starting to get a lot more control of the map. And with Predictive Gaming's situation, they kind of don't want to be giving these, as this looks like another free kill for him, as the Wukong is going to go unstoppable.
Will be unstoppable on over 5-0 now. Quite the strong monkey he's looking to build. I'm not sure. Is there any champions that build Titanic Hydras? I've only seen Ravenous Hydra, mainly because I am very much a gold player and I'm just like, I want more healing in the game. So I build only Ravenous Hydra, but I don't think Wukong would be the one opting in for a Titanic either anyways, so you're looking to probably build into that Ravenous.
Yeah, I imagine that's probably what it'll be for him. I don't think Titanic is the most synergy with this kit. I think the other tank items are better. I do not like the Ravenous Hydra. I think after the nerfs, that's a lot lower of a subset of champions you want it on, and I think you want, with the Triforce already, the Wukong's really squishy. I think you want Sterix or some other more defensive bruiser item just to be able to go in and not get bursted immediately. Also think Stridebreaker is an absolutely broken item right now that pretty much anyone should buy if you can, especially against the enemy team comp where you don't want Zai kiting, you want to be able to slow them for the Alistair and Wukong to get their good ults off. So I don't know if Strikebreaker would be better on the Wukong or the Olaf, because I know after the nerf score Drinker isn't quite as blatantly overpowered, but it is still good for Olaf, who can get into the middle of everyone. So probably Strikebreaker on Wukong, even if you are gonna miss the Sheen procs. Meanwhile, mid lane, I know that for more item discussion, I know that pretty much everyone is going Everfrost now, as it is just such a powerful tool for just getting picks. It's very good defensively as well, as people run into you only to get rooted. I think especially Ahri is a very good user of it. Kind of goes back to the glacial builds for that. Is now we're saying 4 people top. We'll see if the monkey can get this one, and he does.
Wow, that was a really good clone. They did spot him out on the sweeping ward, but then he flashes away before they could throw any abilities to stop him. So really nicely done, Royal Decay. Pushed without punished. Nicely done.
Yeah, and because you sent 4 top for a kill that didn't happen, they're able to pick up Dragon. On the other side, just giving him more advantages over, because when you invest that much into going top lane, you really do need something to come out of it. They didn't have a wave coming, so it's not like they could focus tower. They were instead just looking for a singular kill, and with the shutdown, that kill would probably be worth it, but without even getting it, it's given over free, and now they're having Olaf running him down.
Yeah, Asesh is going to be able to pick up a kill over onto Japanafan, while Asesh is going to be running on out of there. As you can see, Ezreal gets a little bit of damage off, but I don't think the charm hit there. And as well as the regular Ezreal, able to get some damage with the True Shot Barrage.
Again, just getting yourself into a bad spot again from Predictive Gaming, walking into the jungle, face checking the Olaf. Don't have enough damage with the Sterix already done for him. That means that they're able to get the mid tower down, drop the Herald. That's going to be a really big charge onto it. Gragas Cast will mean that they don't fully get the tower, disengaging with that, but gold lead is starting to stack up, and it's now 5,500 for UR.
Yeah, quite a gold advantage over for your Poopy. We're seeing, not a lot of ways for the Predictive Gaming in order to try to get on back into this game, seeing that the strongest member they have is Graves, but here comes another team fight. Royal Decay already in it, using the Sun Clone to get quite a bit of people knocked up there. Strike Light also in it, able to flash, get the stun up on the Drugi, but the heal is going to be able to save him there. Fighting in a choke point here, it's a pretty nice place if you're someone like Zaya who loves playing a lot of these choke points. We're hoping to see maybe a little bit more damage coming off. He flashes right into the app, unfortunately, while it looks like the Ezreal is just going to get unleashed, powered on. Hit the AL play button in order to pick up that. Wow, that was a humongous True Shot Barrage in order to pick up 2. Even hitting the 3rd one as well, so Quick Slice is also even low too. Oh.
And that was a very good play to salvage things from CKG, able to just shoot across 3, get them all down, turn the fight from losing one into a winning one. Because it was going okay for Predictive Fusion at the beginning. They were able to get a couple of kills. Trading 2 for 2 initially is really good when you're behind and those 2 have very big shutdowns, as that was a bit weird to just die to Zaya mid. And that makes it a bit more even with the shutdown. Zaya got a lot of them. Now Ezreal's in damage with the Gragas coming over, able to knock him down. But that's not quite in range, but probably just one more auto with the Grass Puck. He's going to finish him up. Now Alistair's in the area, and they are just donating kills over to Predictive Gaming.
Yeah, they're absolutely just giving them away, and we're looking for this Baron now. Jungler's down, ADC's down, the Engage is down. Only one left is Royal Decay, who has this Cyclone up now, but I don't think they're necessarily want to try to do a team fight with just 2 of them versus all 5. We see SKT Israel is going to be throwing out some charms, but I don't think we'll be actually making anything happen here other than just maybe a little bit of farming for the most part.
What a giga throw by UR. They had the advantage, had a way to close it out. Instead, they decided to just kind of sit mid. Is now what's Syndra doing? Be there for Lantern Thresh. Okay, they have a way to save him. That's a good hook.
Yeah, that's a great hook. Royal Decay is forced to use his ulti there, but you're not going to be able to get followed up by anything. SKT Ezreal does not want to fight a 1v4 this situation, not wanting to throw in herself, you throwing the body in there in order to try to give him another kill. Like you said, it's a little bit of a giga throw, with, especially with Strike Black trying to save the Ezreal, but unfortunately not actually able to.
Yeah, I mean, they went from a 6k gold lead to only a 2k gold lead plus Baron for the other team. They also still have a bunch of towers they have to take with the Baron, lots of standing gold on the map to grab with it. And that's just, they were so greedy with their push, they kind of just sat there, let Xayah auto them. She was able to get the Olaf shutdown. Then they chased down the Ezreal, who had stuck around. Then Alistar trying to save him died. Wukong going in after Baron had already finished off with the team in the area. He gives over a shutdown. And that's just so much gold on the carries that needed them from predictive gaming. Gragas also got one so he can actually do his job a bit better as a tank. And that's just a massive swing with the dragon coming up to make this actually an even fight instead of an almost impossible.
Yeah, listen, like, these are the avenues that we're looking for. With especially if we're considering with Ezreal's building a more mid-term or starting with a team fight. However, Strike Black gets a nice 3-man knock-up over there. SKT Ezreal is in the deep, but unfortunately he's going to fall down over to Quick Slice. Now Haruki is going to be trying to frontline just a little bit more in order to prevent Quick Slice in order to get taken down, but Quick Slice is in quite the predicament there. Able to root off, but not enough damage in order to finish up anyone.
Alright, well, they threw their gold lead, made it back to even, and then promptly won another team fight to make sure it didn't matter. This is going to be Soul Point for UR. Really good fight from them. Champagne fan just pushing a lone bot lane, got caught out by the Olaf. Team rotates to try and save him, lanterns him out, but sets themselves up for a good 3-man pulverize from Strike Black on the Alistar. From there, even with Wukong not there, they were at a man advantage, but just with the way the fight started, Ari getting into the back line, got all her damage out, and just able to win it, get the gold lead back to where it should be, with Soul Point and a mid-in hit down.
Yeah, and before I was interrupted by that fight right there, I was going to say an avenue that the predictive gaming can really look for is the Quick Slice is going to be, just Xayah's really strong carry, while Ezreal is picking up the Essence Reaver Dustblade build, which is more so like a mid-game, early-game sort of build. You get a lot of damage early on, you get the Sheen, you don't have to have any mana problems that you normally would have if you don't go tier, thanks to Essence Reaver, but unfortunately, now that's not the case. I was gonna say that Quick Slice would be like the sort of late game carry that your team would need if you can get it fully built, which he is at 3 items now, so pretty strongly built. But right now, gold lead back in favor for the your Poopy, with where CKG can maybe finish out this game before his build becomes a little bit more obsolete.
Yeah, do finally have Infinity Edge done on the Xayah. That's a really, really big power spike to try and carry these fights, as most of the onus is on him, as he is the one that got most of the shutdowns. He has the kills on the CS to try and do things with his 3-item spike. But, meanwhile, on the other team, you're staring down a very fed Olaf and a very fed Wukong, and an Ahri who can all dash in and get you. So, despite being Xayah, who's good when people are running into you, it is going to be hard, as the waves are crashing in, and UR is looking to get a bit more standing gold on the map. That's a big flank from Strike Black.
Yeah, flank from Strike Black. World Decay is in there, using the Monkey Cyclone and getting quite a few knockouts. Quick Slice is trying to do his best, but he's just going to get dived on by Ace Edge, doing quite a bit of damage, but not enough in order to kill it down. Ace actually is able to with that flash now, however. It's a little bit of a botched up dive right now. SPT Ezreal is still alive, however. He does land a charm and picks up maybe another kill. There it is, over onto Jaw. It is now a 3v3 situation. We'll see if we'll be able to pick up anything further from this, with Haruki having his TP up and fully health now.
Yeah, that was a bit of a weird fight to be going for. I do like the idea of the flank from Strike Black, try and get someone in, but the only one they were able to pick off was the Thresh. Raze and Xayah were actually mid, which normally I would say is incorrect lane allocation. You really only want one person catching the waves. You want to be grouped up where the enemy's pushing instead of having 2 random carries in a spot where if a fight starts they can't help. But because they weren't there, they also didn't get focused by the early part of UR, who blew a lot of stuff on people who didn't really matter. Tank tower for a long time. Then when they kept chasing for more people, they let themselves go into the Xayah, into the Graves, while still tanking tower aggro. And that's gonna make them lose the fight, keep the gold lead within 4,000, and predictive gaming isn't quite out of this game yet.
Yeah, they are still putting up quite the fight here. Gold lead is still around a 4,000 gold lead, so about an item plus like a Giant's belt. I don't know exactly what costs it. Well, 1,000. I think there's an item that costs 1,000. No, that was Headstack Revolver that costed 1,500. But in any case, now they are sitting about one item above the collectively the one item above against your against predictive gaming, but that doesn't necessarily mean the end of it just yet. You are at a disadvantage for some of these fights, but if you can find your way to get a little bit of advantages, then it kind of evens up nicely.
Yeah, and we also see some good item spikes coming in. You have 4 items down for Xayah, you have 3 on the Syndra. Those are very, very good late game carries who can just absolutely crush team fights if you don't get them right away. And especially with your kind of comp where you're running into them, as they do sneak Baron, and Predictive Gaming is on the back fight. We'll see if they can make a fight work.
And they kind of need to make a fight. Look, A-Slash is diving in really deep over into Quick Slash, but Quick Slash is able to guide it out. But World Decay, here it comes with a huge Monkey Cyclone. Here it comes while Jaw, they each fall slowly. We see Fire Fan is in a little bit precarious situation, but they are just going to be leaving her alone while they're looking to push straight down mid lane. They are a little bit lower, at least SKT Ezreal is. World Decay can heal up thanks to that Ravenous Hydra plus red buff. But we'll just have to see. Chapania Fan is here now, able to maybe make something happen here. Halfway through for her ulti, looking, trying to make something happen. Maybe get a huge scatter to weak, but is instead going to be charmed and knocked up and killed right there. Chapania Fan going to go down. Haruki is going to be following soon, and maybe even the Nexus actually going to be recalling here, looking to try to just grab Dragon. So we're looking for some 4 fun gamers here. Instead of going for the end, we're looking for the Dragon Soul.
Yeah, inhib came back up, so they weren't able to keep pushing onto the Nexus with 1 tower spell. Had to go back for the inhib. By the time that was finished, you had Graves and Xayah back up. But because of how far they are, that does mean that it's going to be Infernal Soul over to UR. They're winning fights already. Big win around the Baron. Just kind of asleep at the wheel for gaming. They only came in after it was already done. Then as they went into the fight, really, really big 4-man knockup by Royal Decay. Able to keep things after some nice early kiting by Quick Slice. He managed to get Olaf, but just wasn't able to keep it going. Didn't dodge a very crucial cooldown with his Featherstorm. So they got picked off. Syndra was on the bot side, cut off from the rest of the team. So able to win the fight there, get the inhib, not quite able to end, but Infernal Soul is really, really big for their comp.
Having that Infernal Soul means that they're just permanently stronger, or have this permanent buff over the enemy team. And they're already at 8k gold lead, which is now 2 items and then some change. 2 items in, like, if you want to get one of those, like, the Grievous Wounds items, since they're cheaper now. You can grab all of that and still have, a pretty good amount of stats plus passives. If you want to talk about equivalencies of how much gold this is, it is going to be quite the lead that your Poopy has, but we'll have to see. Maybe we can see maybe some good team fighting, or some ways that they can look for ways back into here, while Ragnarok is going to be popped over by A-Sets, looking straight onto Shuriken, not really respecting how much damage he can do, while Trapania Fan is going to be going down by World Ally as well. This is not what you want to see from PGF in order to try to make it back, but here comes a 5-man strong push. They're looking to take down actually a triple inhibs before going through the Nexus towers. Here comes the Ari ulti. Charm does go a little bit wide, but going to force out the flash from Jaw. Strike Black is going to go around in there, but here comes Featherstorm in order to block off some of that damage and able to get out. Gale Force is actually really cool right there, but unfortunately doesn't hit anyone else with their Feathers or Blade Call. And we're going right into it. Blade Call does pop again, but not enough damage in order to get on out of there. But it looks like here comes the end for your Poopy. Going to be able to pick up the win for themselves, putting them up at 2-1. Tied up with now PGF, technically above them because they have the win against them, both now at 2-1.
A good win for them, just able to execute the fights a little bit better. Had some stumbling blocks, had a couple throws, but did win the fights that mattered, that let them pick up objectives afterwards. And that's just a good win for them as we hit the halfway mark of our week 3 stream for Diamond Capped.
Yeah. So that has been our 2 games for tonight. Tomorrow. Right now, it looks like it might only be 1 game because that one other team, because there's one Diamond team, Reformed XD, still has, yes, I'm calling you out, Reformed XD, haven't submitted their Week 3 game yet, but we're hoping that we can maybe Get that in before tomorrow, and then we will be able to stream that game alongside of the Diamond Win versus My Little PogChamp. I haven't necessarily looked at all those games just yet, but I will be, and we'll be streaming that tomorrow. So at the very least, we'll be seeing some My Little PogChamp versus Diamond Win. So, but for now, I've been Retsuko Dragon. He's been General Vici. Any lasting words before we go ahead and close out the stream?
Thank you all for tuning in and supporting us, and we hope to see you in the future.
All right. So, see ya.